And just like normal, begin to let your body have a couple of really good breaths. Still good deep breaths in and out. Body's relaxing. And really one way to word that relaxing is we're relaxing into greater openness. So that's an idea I've been exploring with over the weekend, is this idea of an open heart versus a closed heart. And really, the open heart just feels better. To be in a state of hatred or smallness or excuses, those kinds of energies really make us feel much more drained, much less enlivened by the experiences that we have. And so today we're exploring through expansive states. So there will be lots of poses where we feel like we're just stretching open, we're expanding wide. And in those states, really feel like it's like you're peeling another layer of your heart open so that you can be much more open-hearted with the people that we're around and with the circumstances that come to your life. We'll also be playing with contracted states, different poses that are much smaller feeling. Just notice, like neither's right or wrong in the body. They both have their power in the physical movement of the body. But just notice in the heart space how much smaller, how much more contracted that feels versus the expanded states. And that'll help us know how we can live with our heart centered and with our heart wide open. So that'll be the image that's on the back of our mind to lead us on. So with that, let's begin to take the knees into the chest. This is kind of a first nice little easy contracted state. So don't feel like you have to move too much here, but just easy little rocking left and right. Notice how this is not awful at all. Sometimes, in fact, the low back likes to be just in this easy contracted state. While we're on our back, we'll be taking a couple of nice core movements to help warm up our bodies. So these core movements are great to help us experience the difference between contraction and expansion. So the first thing we'll be doing here, open our arms out to the left and to the right. Our knees can stay in this bent shape. Just an easy twisting partway down to one side with an inhale. Exhale brings us right back up through the center. Inhale, twisting partway to one side. Exhale back through the center, just an easy process back and forth. Don't feel like you have to go fast necessarily. It's an easy rotation. Continue with this nice, easy bent knee version. This is the more contracted state. Or when you tilt partway to one side, you can let the legs stretch out and then come back to bent as you go through the center. So then we're starting to experience the difference that happens in our body when we go toward expansion. Especially in the core, it makes the core work quite a bit harder. And so we're not always ready for that, but if we're going toward a state where we want to get stronger, that leg stretching out will make a lot of difference. So again, this is still early in class, our body's still warming up, so don't feel like you have to go too fast, or if you want to go back to the bent knees, that's okay. So let's take one more set to each side. And then bringing our knees back to bend, let's twist the body over to the left. Just a nice, easy twist. And feel in this shape how it's almost like the lower half of our body is in that tight, contracted state, while the upper half of our body is trying to stretch open. So maybe you can visualize this almost like us hiding inside of an egg. Sometimes it's good to be in that introverted state, that state of growth, just like the egg has to the chick has to grow from inside the egg. before it's ready to be brought out into the world. So sometimes that introverted, that closed off state can be extremely important for our growth and development. And it gives us that contrast to then when we expand out of the egg and we break forth, it gives us that contrast that we can feel the difference between living inside of something small versus living in a free, open world. Good, so let the knees come over and we'll take that simple twist over to the right side now. Feel how it's almost like the breath that we're breathing is massaging us from the inside out, creating more and more space so that we can break out of that shell. Another good inhale. And exhale, when the hips go to the ground, plant the feet. Let's take a few bridge poses. This is warming up our back space. So pressing into the ground with the feet, then scoop up the tailbone and lift up one vertebrae at a time. Again, we're not super rushing here. Exhale, returning back down one at a time. We're giving ourselves permission to start tuning into that low back and feeling it. Warming it up so that we can help to stretch it out later. That's one of those areas that tends to get a bit tighter than some of the other areas. So take this next full cycle all the way up, all the way down, and then we'll come up one last time and stay clasping hands underneath the back space if you have room for that. Walking the shoulders under even. Feel yourself pressing the heart up, even to a little bit of a back bend. So much arching. The knees are in line with the hips rather than splaying open, they're squeezing. And feel the heart space so much more open, so much more expansive. So another good inhale. And exhale, we can release our hands, roll ourselves all the way back down. And let's take a huge figure X on the ground. So arms are up overhead, legs are open wide. Just rest, almost like this is a Shavasana for a moment. This in a way is something we can call a power pose. There's different power poses that have been studied that when you take them, they can make you much more confident. So they're really helpful to do right before an interview, for instance. When you need that extra boost of confidence that you are good at what you do, you can do the job. So just another breath or so of this expansive power pose. Good, and then we'll work our core just a little bit again. So here we're going to take the right knee toward the left elbow, right above our body, and then stretch it right back out where it was. And then switch sides, right elbow to left knee, and stretch it out. Now this is the much more contracted state, keeping everything bent like this. We'll do a few rounds like this before we let everything stretch straight. Good, yeah, opposites, good. I think we all are a little bit. Okay, so take one more with the bend shape. And you don't have to move on, but if you want to, after that, straight arm and straight leg joined together above us. And then it doesn't have to be rushing down, just a nice slow lowering. And then opposite side up and slow lowering. Feeling how different it is to be in this expansive state than the bent knee shape. So this does become harder because it's a concept called torque. You have further distance away from the center It makes the center have to work harder to be in control. So again, it's that stronger state, that state where ultimately we become this nice, lean, strong person. Good, so take one last to each side. Good, and then slide the left foot into plant. Right thigh wraps over, then right elbow winds under the left elbow. So essentially a nice eagle's pose while we're on our back. This is one of those teeny tiny little contracted states. So just enjoy it for a moment. Maybe even move into the shoulders by letting the fingertips come closer to the ground above the head. Sometimes that hits my shoulders just right. Nice inhale. And exhale, we're going to do 5 crunches. Crunching elbows to touch thighs and then return back down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Then bringing the thighs back in, the hands grab onto the knees or slip down to the ankles. We're still in that right thigh over cross. I love what this one does to get clear down deep into the hips. So just take a few good breaths right there. Here, letting the arms open to left and right, the knees continue to fall over to left. Know that you don't have to go the full way, just find the spot where the twist is hitting you just perfectly. Okay, then hips go to the ground. Almost like a happy baby, we grab onto our feet. But from that grab down to feet position, we're going to try to open the legs out super wide. So you could try to expand both legs open, or you could just take one at a time. One leg stretching out, and then the other. Just giving it lots and lots of time to open up. Good, so then taking that to the second side, right foot down, left thigh over. We're taking the left elbow under that eagle shape. Maybe find the ground right above the head. Shoulders opening again. Our 5 crunches, inhale, breath. Exhale, touch it in, and open back out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, arms spread open. Take a brief twist, knees going over to the right this time. Beautiful. And then hips go to the floor. Either take the same thing, trying to go to that open, expanded foot grasp state. Or if you want to just let the legs open wide and rest the hands on the inner thighs, that would be another option if you like that. So a couple of breaths here. Things are expanding, things are stretching. We're in that expansive state. Think of the heart being super open. Nice inhale. and exhale, let's come up toward a seated place. When we're up, bottoms of feet go together and they're a bit further away from us. From that state, we continue to round down. This should be stretching the low back. So give it some space for the head to hang heavy. Easing into the two spots of that low back. Let's allow the hands to drop down to the floor. And then using just the hands, start to shift the head over the right knee. And you should be feeling the left half of the low back quite a bit deeper in the stretch. Going back to the center, take it over to the second side. Good. Back through the center, this nice contracted state. Sometimes it feels good, like imagining we're in that egg. And then when the spine rises up, let's draw the knees together. Hands are planted right behind us. We're going to try to see if the hips can float up to our tabletop position. Just holding for a couple of breaths. Feel the heart much more expansive than we were just a moment ago. Good. Lowering hips back down to the ground. We're grabbing on here to either the front of the ankles or onto the heels, whatever tends to work better. We're rocking back a little bit. We're kind of in balance. And so from here, one leg gets a chance to stretch out and expand, and then draw it back in. Second leg out, and in. Another time each side. And then you can either stay with a single leg or do a couple of rounds trying to get both to open up together, holding in balance, and return. Maybe two more of those if we're doing the full thing. Good, it's a little challenge to stay with that core center. Last one. Beautiful. Tucking the left foot in, right leg opens, and a couple of breaths to relax down. Like the body's becoming more and more ready to start to stretch for us. And rising up, switch the legs out. Rising up, the same tabletop position or a new variation with the right leg out. Once we're up, we would lift that right leg up and down 3 times before switching sides. So if you're doing the one leg, have your left foot down, hands are ready, already prep the hips up high. And then right leg lifts up to sky. 3, 2, 1. Right foot down, left leg out. 3, 2, 1. Good work. When we rest the hips back down, expand both legs out wide and stretch forward, just with really expansive space. Okay, and rising up, let's allow legs to come underneath us. We're up to kneeling. And as we're working through some cat-cows, you may notice perhaps the low back is speaking to you. So maybe as you go up and down, you take a moment to pause if you feel a good stretch to that low back area. Maybe you're continuously moving up and down if that feels best to help things continue to open up for us. Maybe 2 more full breath cycles, whatever we're doing. And spine back to neutral. Our right leg will kick out to the space behind us. And we try to balance, if possible, with left arm going forward. For a lot of people, this is plenty of core challenge, so you don't have to do anything else. But if you'd like to, we take 5 cycles, elbow and knee in. When we stretch back out, we also do a lift. Good, trying to go nice and slow like that. 4, and lift. 3, 2, and 1. Good. If you're going to the lift, stay or clasp that hand and foot together behind your back. If you find that clasp, try to push the foot up to find a more expansive space. Feel that heart open. Beautiful. Release, drop down. If you need to shake anything out, go right ahead. And when you feel ready for second side, left leg back. Maybe right arm forward, maybe motion. 5, nice and slow, and that huge lift. 4, 3, 2, 1, stay. Maybe hand and foot connection to try to lift. Beautiful. Lower. We're in plank or kneeling plank, lowering all the way down to the floor. When the belly's rested on the floor, slide the arms forward. And from here, we're going to lift the right arm and the left leg, so opposites. And lower. Beautiful. Slide the elbows underneath the shoulders, Sphinx. Heart gets pulled through, and I stretch for the core. Left hand swivels into Prabhasa, so that right hand can grab right toes and pull in for a nice quad stretch. And release. Second side, pull it in. And heading back to child pose. Let those back muscles really get that chance to stretch out long. It's funny how when we're speaking specifically of the back muscles, child pose seems like a very contracted, it's a very small state, but so far as the back, this is extremely expansive. So give that area of our body the chance, the opportunity to start stretching open. welcome to stay here for a few more breaths. Or if downward facing dog feels expansive to your system, at any point you're welcome to start stretching up, wiggling the legs out, moving into new muscle groups. So your choice when you start to do that. Let's float our left leg up to the sky for a moment. Reach it high, super expansive. And then let that left foot in between hands. Right hand stays on the floor. Left hand begins to lift up to the sky. So this is one of those poses that's kind of both. By twisting toward a thigh, it feels quite a bit more contracted, more restricted. But yet by lifting the head up to the sky, we also have that expansive state. Kind of a fun pose. Good, so now as the left fingers make their way back to the floor, the back heel can drop down. We're going to sweep the arms up to warrior one and immediately open to warrior two. Heading toward extended side angle, the front elbow can drop down and the other arm starts to stretch its way all the way as forward as possible. Maybe left hand also goes toward the floor, maybe not, your preference. Good. Wind the arms back up to the warrior two. And then let this front leg feel that expansion and contraction. So front leg straightens and bends. Repeating that 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to the bent state. Beautiful, one more breath here. And then triangle, straight leg, left hand reaches forward, and then left hand to shin, right hand to sky. Again, aspects of contraction, aspects of expansion. Not everybody has half moon in their practice, so if you're not going to half moon here, you'll just stay in this beautiful triangle. If you're going to half moon, you're welcome to come up and then cartwheel all the way down to that easy half moon. When I think of an expansive state in yoga, this is the first one that pops to my mind. Every limb stretching away from the center. Everything stretching out so good. So if you're here, take one more inhale. Exhale, easy rest back down. Everybody rises to warrior two. The back hand sweeps down and up, shortening our stance to warrior one. From warrior one, we're going to start balancing our weight on the front leg. So puff this right knee forward and then shifting directly into eagle's pose. So right thigh over, standing leg bends. Maybe right elbow under. It's always going to be okay to have toes on the floor. That would help with balance. Maybe you're trying to get even more contracted by squatting down even lower. Good, a nice inhale. And then exhale, everything spreads open. Back to just an easy stand in place. Left hand on the thigh, right hand up and over. And reverse it out. Beautiful. Rising up, yogic squat, toes turn outward. We try to go all the way down if possible. Know that a higher lunge is okay. Just push the knees open. You'll feel that thigh stretching. Oh, it's almost like we could fit inside of an egg again. This nice small stature. So specifically in the legs, start to notice the difference between how this feels very contracted versus the expansion as we drop hands down and begin to extend the legs up, straightening legs, turning toes forward. Feel how different that is in the experience of the legs. Good. So from here, we're going to head back all the way down to plank or kneeling plank. Lowering all the way down to belly. Sliding hands forward. You can either take the option we did before, walking with opposites up and down, or we can lift both arms and both legs together. Either way, it'll be 6 total sets of up and down. So when we're ready, inhale up for 6, and exhale down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Hands slide in, maybe a little back bend, child pose, or straight to down dog, your choice. Good, so we're ready for second side. Let's begin to float the right leg. And step right foot in between our hands. Left hand stays down, right hand twists up to the sky. Onto the floor, back heel down. Sweep up through warrior 1, immediately opening to warrior 2. Extended side angle, front elbow down, maybe the fingers down, the other arm in that long angle forward. Sometimes I'll notice that my hips kind of go back a little bit, but see if you can bend the front knee to lower yourself down to that straight line from ankle to wrist. Good, up through the warrior 2. Front knee straightens and bends. Repeating that 4, 3, 2, 1. Another breath here, in, out. Leg can straighten, head to triangle, reach the wrist first, and then hand down, left up. Either stay here or half moon pose, working our way up and over. So all limbs expanding outward, whether we're in triangle or half moon. All legs are straight, all arms are reaching, lifting. One more inhale. Exhale, softly land. We all come up to warrior 2. Sweep up to warrior 1. And to stand on that front foot, balancing left. Left leg winds. Left elbow winds under. Eagle's pose. Trying to get as small and contracted as possible. Like we're returning into that eagle's egg. Good, stretch everything back out open. Let's do that same stretch, right hand on right thigh, left hand up and over. And rising up to switch. Good. Back down into yogic squat, turn the toes out, feet are about as wide as mat. Trying to keep the legs and the feet rather flat on the floor if possible. I usually will readjust my stance until I'm at that perfect position for my feet. Dropping hands down, let the legs straighten out again. Feel that expansive state. And stepping back toward plank or kneeling plank. Again, lower all the way until belly's on the floor. Slide the arms forward. Same options, going for 6 rounds, either everything lifts or do one at a time. So inhale up, 6, 5. Move with your breath, inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Maybe a little cobra. Perhaps pausing in child pose, or some may go straight up to down dog right away. What feels most expansive for your muscles right now? Like floats up to the sky. Steps left foot to outside of left hand. The back knee can lower down. Feel within your body whether you want the more expansive state, trying to arch the heart up, or if you want more of the contracted state in lizard, lowering down to elbows. Feel within your body which demands more attention right now. Back up onto hands. The front leg is going to heel towards my core midline, and then we work on the hamstring. We can either be going through kind of a half split, shifting the hips over the back knee, or if anybody wants to inch a little bit deeper toward full splits, you have that liberty to do so, your choice. However expansive that front hamstring wants to be, especially. If you went forward to splits, slide back in so that you can plant that left foot. Lift up the back knee, rotating that heel down. Then we're going to cartwheel directly into goddess pose. So the toes are turned up to 45-degree angles, arms are left and right. We're squatting down already and holding that squat. So from that squatted position, slowly we're going to ease our back muscles into a stretch. So legs stay solid the whole time. Right hand drops to right thigh. Maybe continue to lower toward elbow if there's space for that. Left hand lifts up and maybe eases its way over. Legs did not budge at all. They're super low squatting. Good, and then ease your way reversing out so that that top hand rises first. And then we're back up through the center. And switch it out. Left hand down, maybe left elbow. Right hand up and over. Good. Ease our way back through the center. One more breath in. Exhale, straighten the legs, turn the toes forward, drop the hands down, wide angle forward fold. Choose your favorite arm position. We're just here a couple of breaths. Now bringing the left hand to plant on the floor in front of the face. Right hand twists up to the sky. Hips do not shift though. Hips are solid. Then we feel the expansion through the twisting ability of the spine. Good. Right hand down, left hand up. Beautiful. Dropping down. Walk the hands up to the top of the mat. Step back, plank or knees like lower belly to the ground. Slide the arms forward. Another set of 6, whether you're doing one at a time or both together. So inhale 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. Another chance to be maybe through cobra, into child pose, or down dog, your choice. You're ready? Right leg floats up to sky. Step right foot to outside right hand. We're in that deep lizard already, back knee can settle down. So are we going for expansion, kind of arching the heart up, or contraction, lowering down? Like I mentioned earlier, neither's right or wrong. Both have their time and their purpose in our experience. Having one and not the other means that we're living without the contrast. So it's important to have those moments where we're incubating, and then have that contrast with the moments where we're breaking free of our shell, and it's like we're losing another layer of kind of the different layers that we put up on our heart. We're breaking through another one. Good. Rising up, the foot can come more toward the midline of the mat. Maybe we're sliding forward toward closer to full splits. Maybe we're happy with a nice half splits. What expansion does the hamstring want? Let's slide that left foot back into a good place to plant. The back knee lifts, the back toe rotates down, and then we will open directly into goddess. The knees already bent, toes out to 45-degree angles. Hold the bottom, the lower half of the body in that strong state. And then right hand starts to go to right thigh, maybe right elbow. Left hand easy up and over. And notice how those muscles don't want to immediately just jump right out. So just easily, slowly cartwheel back out. Nice tall spine through the center. And then switch. Left hand down, maybe left elbow. Right hand up, maybe over. Good. Easily rise back up. Hold one more breath in and out. Straighten the legs, turn the toes forward. Maybe a new arm position as we go down. I'm gonna clasp hands behind my back and pull into that shoulder stretch. You could do any version that feels helpful. And bringing the left hand to the floor in front of the face. So the spine already elongating, preparing for the twist. Right arm rises up and down. Left arm floats and lowers. Good. Walk our way back up to the top of our mat. Stepping back. Our last chance to lower down. Slide the arms forward. Last set of 6, whether we're doing one at a time or both together. Inhale 6. 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Keeping this left arm, the right arm straight. Swing the right arm to your right side. The right cheek is down on the floor. Press the left hand into the ground until you feel that right shoulder stretching. Sometimes hip stack, sometimes the top leg rotates open behind us. Good. Dropping the hips down. Switch it out. Left hand to left. Left cheek down. Press into the right hand. Maybe stacking hips. Maybe rotating the other open. And releasing. Take a beautiful child pose. Once again, feeling that contrast between the contracted shape of it, but yet the expansiveness of our back. Locking the hands in supports our spine through the lift up. And then we come to sit on one side of the feet, legs swinging out in front of us. Tuck the left foot in. And then this right thigh tries to wrap over, planting on the other side. We got left and then right over. So now it's our left hand or our left elbow that hugs around that right knee. Spine's trying to straighten up so that we can take that nice spinal twist. Turning forward, you've got some options. Stacking the knees for my body feels really good. Both of my sitting bones can be down. You have the options to go wider to shin stack or cross leg if that gives your hips more space. So any of those versions, and then begin to just ease your way forward. Paying a particular attention to the hip and even the low back connections, feeling so much more expansion through that area of the body. Good, rising up. Let's switch the legs out. So now right is underneath, left is crossing over. Right hand or right elbow hooks. Lift the spine up to continue to spiral. Return. Listen to the knees and hips for this side. Are we stacking them? Are we sliding wider to shin stack or cross leg? Or can we just go directly forward from here? Using our hands to support our spine, lifting back up. When we unwind here, we can begin to head into any last poses our body needs. Now with this theme of both expansion and contraction, that could mean a lot of things. That could mean for some people doing a headstand, so you get that in your practice today. That's more of an expansive thing. Or it could mean just a last seated pose or a last laying pose. So begin to head into any of those last things that your body needs to deepen your experience today, whatever that looks like. No sense of rush. Take all the time that you need. This is just you and your journey. Don't feel any sense of rush. I'm noticing some people getting closer toward Shavasana. So if you're still moving, keep on moving. When you feel like you're getting closer to that Shavasana state, this is an invitation that you do not have to take, but perhaps you're using the option today of expanding your Shavasana a bit wider than you normally do. So maybe arms and legs are a bit more open, helping us to feel that almost like a power pose, feel so much more expansive. Imagining that that's originating from the heart and it just expanding outward to all directions. So if that image seems helpful, take it. If not, do the Shavasana that your body loves and needs today, whatever that looks like. Either way, inhales and exhales are deep and full. Here, begin to deepen the inhales and the exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching back out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually taking a nice fetal position off to one side. Enjoying 2 or 3 more breaths as your body continues to come back to this moment, to presence, the heart, how it feels. Rise up to a comfortable seated position when you're ready. So as hands join together in front of the heart, imagine this is our chance to check in with that heart space. Have we shed a layer? Do we feel more able to expand outward in compassion and love and tolerance and peace? Helping us, using this heart space to help us just be a better person, because it just feels good to be kind and loving. And so with this heart space and this expansion to continue to lead us forward, let's wrap up the time we got to share together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. Om. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.